Hey guys, Pretzelman 945 here. Welcome back to another video. Um, welcome back to something new. Well, not welcome back to. Welcome to something new on the channel that I have never talked about before, and that is JoJo. Um, the only reason that I have not talked about JoJo's, um, is because I didn't know whether my watching experience with JoJo's has been weird because I watched parts one and two like a year and a half ago at this point. Um excuse me if I'm yawning or rubbing my eyes or whatever. I'm very sleepy, but I'm still gonna make this review regardless. Um uh oh shit boy, oh boy. Yeah. Um And then part three, because the pacing is so ass, took me like over a year to finish. Um, so, oh, mm, um, and the topic of this video mainly is going to be the fact that I just now finished JoJo's part four. It was absolutely incredible. Now, Um, I might make a more in-depth video about this later on, but for now, kind of a brief rundown of my thoughts on parts one to three. I thought part one was good. I thought it was an entertaining start to the story, and Dio is a very entertaining villain. In part two, I thought that was really good. I liked the characters a lot better, and even though the the Pillarmen, even though the Pillarmen weren't as entertaining of villains, I think it's totally made up for by the fact that Joseph was such an awesome protagonist. And then in part three, I liked the kind of road trip aspect. I liked all the characters. I liked Dio returning. I thought he had a good role in the story. Um, the thing that seriously brings part three down is the fact that the pacing is off. As previously mentioned, it took me like a fucking year to get through it, and that's even when I was reading the manga because it's just there are so many like slow moments that could have been basically cut out. Um, they reach Cairo in they I don't even know they reach Cairo like fucking 60 chapters before the Dio fight happens. It's insane. Um Now, that little preface out of the way, I am now going to absolutely glaze the crap out of part four because part four was incredible. Absolute cinema. Absolute fucking cinema, man. Um, uh, oh my god, there's so many things to talk about. Okay, so starting with the characters. Um, I like Josuke so much better than Jotaro. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but like low key, I think Jotaro in especially in this part is kind of like just a useless bum that sort of aura farms, but like Josuke, especially by the end in the final fight against Kira, where he was literally doing all the heavy work. Josuke was aura farming like crazy, way more than um fucking Bumtaro. Um and he's just awesome. I love Josuke's personality. I love the dynamic between him and Joseph and the fact that they are actually father and son. That was such a crazy plot twist that caught me so off guard, but it meant that that my goat Joseph returned once again for this season. And yes, as much as I love Josuke, I still have Joseph a little bit above in terms of my favorite member of the Jojos family. Um I think Koichi was just a really, really fun and kind character who was just really nice to see on screen all the time. Okuyasu was so fucking funny, and he had so many clutch moments. I cannot explain my hype levels when he used the hand to wipe away the air bomb of Kira. That was such an epic moment. I I love I love Okuyasu. He's like uh he is I'll say he's my third favorite because he's not quite as high as Joseph, but Joseph is number two because my favorite JoJo's character overall was introduced in this part, and that is Rohan Kishibe. Rohan Kishibe is such an awesome idea for a character, and I love mangaka characters to begin with. And his Heaven's Door stand is hands down the coolest stand that I will ever see in JoJo's. We'll see how long that lasts because I've heard there's some really cool stands in part 5 and 6. But for now, as of September 8th, 2025, um, at 9:42 p.m., Heaven's Door, in my opinion, is the coolest stand. And that is another thing that I absolutely loved about part four is there were so many more cool and just really interesting ideas for stands. Like you had the stand of the guy that like locked hearts or whatever. You obviously have Rohan's stand with the whole Heaven's Door thing and being able to read people like a manga and write rules in. You had like a rock paper scissors guy. You had, of course, Josuke's thing, which could like heal things. You had Koichi's three different stages of a stand, which was crazy cool. You had Tonio's stand, which was the cooking one. There were so many cool and unique stands that were introduced in this part, and I absolutely loved it. It was so refreshing. Not that like the stands in part two were bad, but let's be honest, they were pretty horribly basic compared to all the really, really cool ideas that are explained here. Um and that's another thing that I also really liked. Speaking of the stand users, I really liked how there were a lot of stand users that like weren't actually enemies in the show. I thought that that was such a really nice change, and it added this very nice level of consistency. And I thought it was really cool this idea where all the stand users in one town kind of know each other and are able to cooperate with each other and interact peacefully. I thought that's a really cool idea. Now speaking of cool stand ideas, man, that idea for that like inspiration that Kira gets for the third stand was just absolutely insane. I had no idea how they were gonna beat him. Um, that was so freaking awesome. Um, also, speaking of Kira, this is definitely where the most glaze is gonna come. Kira is such a fucking awesome villain. My goodness, man. Well, first off, the idea of like this insane serial killer is just a really great idea for a villain, and it just feels so JoJo's, and I just love it. Um, and on top of that, I just like he has so much aura and just physical presence in a way that only a JoJo's villain can do. And yet he does it in a way that's different from Dio and it's much more unique. He has like this much more subtle evilness to him and it just makes I like that a lot better about him as a villain compared to Dio's more obvious grandeur, I think. And also just his plans are insane. Like Kira's idea to like change into another body was just crazy. I was such a that was such a freaking cool idea. Um, and then man, that final fight between them, there was so much back and forth between Hira and Yosuke. That was so freaking cool, man. Um, uh, and yeah, I think that kind of sums up my thoughts on JoJo's Part 4. It was freaking amazing. I loved it so much, and I am definitely going to be making other individual videos um for whenever I finish parts 5 and 6 as well. Um I don't know if I'm going to end up reading part 7 before the anime comes out because I'm pretty sure the anime is when is the anime slated for? Come on now, there we go. Okay. JoJo's Part 7 anime release date. Okay. Well, I thought there was a release date. I guess not. I guess it was just announced. Um, but I don't know if I'm going to read parts 7 through 9 before the part 7 anime comes out. But for now I will be making part videos on parts 5 and 6 when I finish watching those. Um but yeah, JoJo's is incredible. If you have not seen JoJo's, then watch JoJo's because despite the fact that I have seen 121 animes, not including movies. This is just like just the shows. If I included the movies, we'd be at a lot more by this point. Um, if I am not in, if like all those animes I've seen, and JoJo's still is somehow like it's completely its own thing and experience that I think every anime fan should give a try at least once, no matter what your interest is or taste in shows whatsoever. I think every anime fan should give JoJo's a try because it's it's just truly its own not thing, not even in anime, but just in media and fiction in general that is just so wonderfully unique and its own thing, and it's so ridiculously entertaining, and I love it. So, um, yeah, that's gonna be the video. Fucking loved part 4. Look forward to my video from part 5 because I'm very excited because I've heard so many amazing things about part 5. And considering how much I love part 4, I'm sure I'm gonna love part 5 just as much, if not even more. But for now, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.